No one buys a coupe for its practical qualities. They buy one because they want one. As you can imagine, that want factor is driven almost entirely by emotion. So, is the third generation Q60 a true object of desire? The answer, at least from a visual standpoint, is a resounding yes. Only a handful of production models can wear a concept car exterior and get away with it, and the Q60 is one of them. Bucking the good from afar but far from good designs of late, zooming in closer reveals intricate touches and careful attention to detail. Okay, so clearly it's engaging on the outside, but what about from behind the wheel? Well, that largely depends on which type of steering you choose. At the top of the range is a system dubbed Adaptive Direct Steering, a steer-by-wire unit with no physical connection between the wheel in your hand and the wheels on the road. Unless, of course, sensors detect a fault, in which case a mechanical connection will be re-established, followed closely by a trip to your nearest Infiniti dealer. An engineering marvel indeed that would integrate well with an autonomous vehicle, but despite Infiniti's best efforts in this application, it doesn't work. Although the variable steering ratio is admittedly pretty neat, virtually no information is transmitted to the driver through the steering wheel. Am I controlling the car right now? Maybe. We also discovered that something in the software calibration makes the car alarmingly difficult to control during high-speed emergency braking. The good news is that directive adaptive steering is a $1,000 option, and the conventional electromechanical steering is just fine. It's predictable and relatively communicative without feeling overly artificial. Okay, that's enough about steering. As for chassis control, the Q60 impresses on multiple fronts. Both the standard suspension and optional two-mode adaptive system are sufficiently stiff for rapid directional changes and compliant enough to soak up most road imperfections, like manhole covers, person hole covers. Even on that rough pavement, the cabin is well isolated from road noise, and sight lines are surprisingly good for something that looks like this. Beneath that dramatically sculpted sheet metal are two engine choices. A 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder producing 208 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque, and a liquid-charged cooled 3-liter twin-turbo V6 offered in two distinct tunes. The latter falls under Infiniti's new VR engine classification, which, given its instant throttle response, broad power band, and lofty 7,000 RPM redline, is a worthy successor to the time-honored VQ series. All engines are paired exclusively with a 7-speed automatic transmission, which, despite an annoying communication delay between the paddle shifter and gearbox, is very well behaved. Inside, the Q60 boasts an impeccably crafted cabin, laden with high-quality materials and unique trim elements like this silver optic fiber scheme. Though headroom is not suitable for adults, rear legroom is shockingly acceptable, and the trunk is large enough to swallow a pair of small carry-ons. It's an interior that's not only beautiful, but functional. It's also very accommodating. The driving position is pretty much perfect, even for oversized goons like him. The seats are extremely comfortable and supportive and offer adjustable side bolsters, and there's a decent amount of storage. But for some reason, Infiniti thought it would be a good idea to stuff this into its ultra-chic interior, because nothing says modern quite like a foot pedal parking brake. Another modern feature omission is Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Nevertheless, we're still fans of Infiniti's quick-witted, high-resolution media display and accompanying navigation panel. Pricing begins just shy of $40,000 and tops out right around $60,000 for a fully optioned Red Sport model. In base form, the Q60 undercuts rivals like the BMW 4 Series and Mercedes-Benz C-Class Coupe by more than $2,000 and comes with a bounty of standard equipment to boot, the highlights of which include 19-inch wheels, keyless access with push-button start, a dizzying array of drive settings, LED headlights and taillights, an 8-way power driver's seat with manual lumbar support, a backup camera, and a 6-speaker sound system tied to a dual-screen infotainment center. Swapping rear-wheel drive for all-wheel drive will set you back an extra $2,000, while adding in goodies like heated seats, a heated steering wheel, leather, navigation, a low-resolution 360-degree camera system, and a superb-sounding 13-speaker Bose Performance Series audio system inflates the sticker price to around $49,000. Heavy sweaters take note, ventilated seats are not available. If active safety is on your mind, just know that lane keeping assist, blind spot intervention, adaptive cruise control, and predictive forward collision that can react to situations occurring in front of the vehicle ahead is only available on V6 models. Stepping up to the line-topping Red Sport lands you 400 horsepower, larger brakes, electronically controlled suspension, paddle shifters, and carbon fiber interior trim. At this point, you might be asking yourself, what else can I get for that kind of money? Besides the aforementioned 4 Series and C-Class, there's the well-rounded Audi A5 and TT, the very nearly over-styled Lexus RC, and the brilliant but decidedly more expensive Porsche 718 Cayman. There's no denying the fact that the Q60 is positively gorgeous both inside and out, but looks can only get you so far. When you look beyond just pure aesthetics, the right sports coupe might not necessarily need to turn heads.